Hi everyone, I hope everyone's good. So basically, you've seen my introduction video. Now this is the actual one about travelling. Now, as I said in my previous video, I went to Thailand, then I went to Australia and South Africa. Also in that part, I managed to go to Bali for 7 days with one of my friends as well. Um, it was It was such, like I said, it was such a great experience, and I advise anyone to do it. Basically, what I'm going to start off with is Thailand, because it makes sense too. So before I went off to Thailand, obviously make sure you got everything, all your jabs and everything. And because obviously I worked with Boots, I got mine with Boots anyway. So yeah, it was good in that respect, just to make sure that you got all your injections, depending where you're going, because they go through where you're going to go in all the places, as in South Africa, Thailand, everywhere. And you just want to make sure you get the right jabs, just in case you don't want any problems on the way. But yeah, so with Thailand, before I jetted, I went from Heathrow Airport, Terminal 3. And saying goodbye obviously was the hardest thing, which at first I didn't think it was going to be, but it just went over my mind. Everyone did say, no, it'll be hard at the airport, I mean, say goodbye to people, and I thought, you know what, you could be right, but I'm just not going to think about it. And when it came to the day, it was bad. I just remember, obviously it's literally, I said, right, it's time, we had a meal there. Then I thought, right, it's time, I better start making the move. And I was getting my flight with Qantas over to Dubai, and then from Dubai to Bangkok. And yeah, it was rather tricky, as you can imagine. But overall, obviously, because I had there my mum and dad, my sister, and my nephew, and saying goodbye to all them, yeah, it was tricky. But when I did, it was fine after. I just had to think, right, I'm now a responsible adult for myself. I need to make sure I need to get to the right places at the right time. And yeah, it's literally, I was born at gate 1, I remember that. And it just went so quickly. Getting on the plane, which I've never been on a long haul flight in my life. So obviously this plane was absolutely massive. And I remember speaking to this person next to me, and he was really just like, you'll be alright, don't worry about it, and I was like, yeah, okay, thank you, yeah, no, I should be alright, and I was fine. And did the flight over to Dubai, which was really amazing. The service on Qantas was lovely, and everything went so well. The meals were lovely, spacious room, everything was perfect, so everything was going brilliantly. And then got to Dubai, just a quick 2-hour stopover till I get on my next plane, which actually was Emirates on my next one. Got on the Emirates flight, and straight from Dubai went to Bangkok, which was about 8 hours, I think it was. Might have been less, I can't remember now, but no, less than that, I think. But anyway, so then went from Emirates to Bangkok, which then got there. And this is when I started my 4-week journey. And obviously I've spoken to the people, because we had like a group chat going. Scout 360 provides you with a group chat that you can start talking to people before you actually, go on the trip with them. And so yeah, everyone were all talking before that. And then as soon as I got to the airport, there was 2 other girls there. No, sorry, 1 girl there, and then a travel rep who called Fanta. Which he was Thai, but he was great. He was really funny and everything. And then we waited for 2 more other people. And then we got in this little minibus. It took us all the way down. It was into Bangkok, into the city. We stayed at this actually not bad hotel. And I remember getting there thinking, right, okay, this is it now. And I spoke to the people, and they seemed really nice. And I thought, this is good, going well so far. And then when we got to the hotel, everyone else already been gradually getting there throughout the day, and we got there, we were the last ones. So people had been there from early as well, and we got to this restaurant where people had eaten, and we thought, yeah, we'll have something to eat. And we got brought to them, and literally just got to this table, and it was just filled, obviously, with all like 26 of us. And it was crazy. I was just looking at everyone thinking, right, I think that's such, I think that's such. Oh no, is that her? Is that him? And friends, obviously, because we do gradually get to talk to everybody, and then you get to find out about themselves and everything, what they're going to do in the future, and travelling and whatever, you know. So yeah, it was really good. And then after that, a few people went to bed because obviously it was late, and we did actually go to the cocktail bar around the corner, which sold really cheap drink. And I mean, I can't remember how much I took for Thailand in English or even in Thai money because it was a long time ago, but I did bring the right amount. But what I regret not doing, which I would advise everyone to do, is to have their bank card with them. Now this could be either a Caxton travel card or post office card, any of them. I'd advise that, because I only just took cash, because as soon as I got to Australia I had my bank set up, so I knew when I got to Australia I'd be fine. But it was just in Thailand I thought, no, I should be alright, I've just got cash. And you've just got to be obviously super careful, make sure it's always secure where you're going to be, and take it with you all the time. But like, be careful when going on nights out as well. Now, a lot of people have the like waist travel bags, and obviously because then you can have like, the zip at the front and just have everything secure, like your phone and everything in there, which was a good idea. I didn't actually get one, which I regret doing that as well, but I'd advise people doing that, because then you're keeping your stuff safe and it's always on you. So you're not, at least you're not got to take one of your big bags with you on a night out, because you don't really want to do that. But yeah, so I advise taking a card, because then at least you know you've got backup just in case you do spend lots in Thailand. But we in Bangkok, yeah, we had cocktails. I was meeting everybody. It was good fun, and majority of us did go to bed later on. I hadn't even met my roommate yet, Pete, and obviously there's me knocking on the door like 1 o'clock in the morning, like, because they couldn't provide you with 2 keys. It was just 1 key in this hotel. So I was knocking on the door, and I thought, oh God, I feel so bad. And he said, oh, don't worry about it, it's fine, I'm Pete. So I was like, oh, okay. And then after that, it was fine. And then the next day we woke up, and I believe we stayed. We had like a massive group chat about everything, and then we eventually then made it to Chiang Mai, which is where the elephant sanctuary was. But unfortunately, a lot of us, they said it was an elephant sanctuary, but it didn't feel like that. We were walking down, we got to this hotel first, which was really nice, really lovely, people looked after it and everything. I had lovely rooms, and the first night it was all great, you know. I think it was that day we went down to the bit where they took us where the elephants was, but unfortunately the elephants are actually like chained to the floor, and then we're thinking, hang on a minute, this isn't an elephant sanctuary, is it? This is more hell. And they kept saying, no, this is, because our other tour guide was called Ben, she was lovely, but they just kept saying, no, this is an elephant sanctuary. And then the men would say, like, oh, we let them out overnight, but they can't because there's no fences or anything, they'll just be running away. So in our minds we're thinking, so quite a few people got upset, and so most of us weren't very happy with the situation. But you know, then we thought, oh God, what? You know, this is actually quite mean. Like, the elephants are chained to the ground with 1 foot to the ground, and then like they said we can touch them, which we were touching them and everything, but you could see they didn't look very happy. And it was the next day, we went back again, but a different part, and then they said to get on the elephants, which obviously not a majority of people are happy with, because I've read up about it more, what they do to the elephants and everything, which I think is absolutely awful. But I think, you know, we did it at the time, getting on the elephants. Some people didn't actually, but we got on the elephants, went for the ride, and I just felt like it was so unsafe actually on the way, because all we had was a little metal chain. We had like metal into our back basically, and I couldn't imagine how the elephant felt. And that was really digging into our backs. So like I said, what the elephant was feeling, I'm sure was much worse. But it was, and as soon as it was over, I was quite happy, because I felt like that's over with. And we went from, after all that, it was a great time in Chiang Mai. It's just the elephant problem, that's all it was. If they were all let out free all the time, everything would be perfect. I've seen other tour groups that have actually had that, and I'm a bit jealous of that, because that is what it should be like. But unfortunately we didn't get that. So a lot of people did complain on social media, Facebook and Gap360, but majority of the people that got back just said no, this wouldn't happen. So it was just ongoing there. But I don't know what. Apparently it has changed now, but I don't know. If you were there now, pretend to picture, see if it's the same situation. Because if it is, it surely needs to be, shut down. But anyway, but yeah, from there we went to Koh Samui, which was, that was nice. And we're getting to, I can't remember the man's name. He owned this like hostel. We stayed there. We went on a massive boat ride. Oh, the boat ride was we were on there for 6 hours. It was so bad. But on the way we saw some lovely scenery, don't get me wrong, but it was just a boat ride. You just got to get so used to travelling, as in even just the boats, the coaches and all that. And with that, it was a long ride, but we did it in the end. A lot of us got burnt on the way, but yeah, we did it on the end. But remember, always take sun care and put it on, apply it all the time. And then from Koh Samui we stayed at this hostel, which was nice. And then this man who owned it, he took us to his club, but his club was like really overpriced. Like I know Thailand is cheap, but he overpriced everything, and he didn't even give us a free drink. How dare him? But yeah, I think it was okay. Like, it wasn't my favourite place, but it was okay. We only stayed there, I think it was like 2 days. It's not very long. But then from Koh Samui we went to Koh Tao, which is absolutely my favourite place. It was just the best. As soon as we got to this, it was basically like a hotel. We had our own room, so I'd class it as a hotel. Compared to when I was in Australia later on, it's definitely a hotel. But yeah, and we stayed there, and I just felt like it was a great place to go out, clubbing, everything. It was just such, like you could walk down on the beach on sunset, or even in the evening, you see the fire displays, everything. Obviously be careful if you do. Now obviously a lot of people are drinking, including myself, but are drinking. So just be careful, and because the actual firemen, people that are doing all that, they're actually drinking on the way as well, so you just got to be aware and be careful, because one of the men did actually trip up and fell in front of us, and we were very close to it. But you just got to be careful with all that sort of thing, and especially when they do like the limbo with the fire. Now I'm not good at it, so why would I do it on fire? But anyway, some people, you can do it, but you just got to be careful, be aware. But I've heard that Thailand people do actually try and get you like burnt, because then you got to pay a lot of money to go to the hospital and stuff. And obviously you just got to be aware, and whoever you're with, be aware with everything like that, because it was a great place. I remember doing the sunset. We just literally sat down, had a drink on these bean bags and watched the sunset. It was brilliant. Had loads of lovely pictures there, and it was just a great experience. It was just absolutely amazing. That was my favourite place in Thailand. But from Koh Tao I went to Koh Phangan, and then that was where the full moon party happens. So, and then but unfortunately we got there at the wrong time. The actual day we were going, it was happening that night, but we left in the morning, so it didn't really work out for us. But they got us to this other place called the Jungle Party, which actually was okay. I just thought it was very, I don't know, I didn't enjoy myself ultra. It was all a bit too much, as you can imagine. But yeah, I think overall it was okay place. But yeah, I think on the way, if you ever see 7-Eleven over there, you must get their toasties. I know they're better when you're drunk, but it's also nice just in general. So I think you should get a toastie, because they actually make them there and then, and you can just have them. It's really nice, and they're really, really good. But yeah, I mean, you can try as much, try everything out there. The food out there is lovely, but you just got to be careful with that as well, because you don't know where it's been stored, everything about it. So that's the only thing. So I went to a restaurant in Bangkok, and someone opened their spring rolls, and there was green ants in there all alive. It's just things like that. And then obviously I know people, well, what known thing is to try scorpions and stuff, fried scorpions. I never did in the end, but you know, it's up to you what you want to try. I mean, you are travelling, you try everything you want. Now, a lot of the people in the group were absolutely lovely. I had the best group. We like had our own little things. Like we called ourselves the Wolf Pack. We got like these little bracelets, which mine is around somewhere. Must find it. And it was great because we all got on so well. And to this day, we still talk on Facebook on the group chat. So I would just advise anybody, that's another way to make new friends, because then when you get to the UK you can come meet them, see them wherever, or if you want to go travelling together somewhere else, it's up to you. Now with actually going to Thailand, it was when we got back from Koh Phangan, which was okay. Some people then went on for the extra days to the Koh Phi Phi Islands, which was, I can't remember how much money more, but when you bought the actual Wig Gap 360 you could have done that. But I decided, and quite a lot of us did, I think only 5 people went out of the group of 26, and they said they had a lovely time, but obviously then after that they kind of left to it. So basically it was just before that, that's when the tour guide, one will go back with whoever's to stay. I think it was 3 weeks, I stayed 4, and whoever stayed for 3 weeks, that one of the tour guides went back, which was Ben. She was the most loveliest one, and she went back with them. And it was just Fanta, which was the last tour guide, and he was the one that last saw us go. And then and that's when the 5 people just went off on the boat and went to the Koh Phi Phi Islands. But that's really to look for themselves where to go and what to do. But yeah, we then went back to Bangkok. We went by the bus. Now I know 2 people who are together actually decided to get a flight back over to Bangkok. It's actually really cheap apparently, instead of doing the actual bus journey, which just took ages. I actually can't remember how long it was. It might, in my mind I think it's 10 hours. I might be wrong, someone can correct me, whoever's done the tour guide as well. But yeah, it was a long journey, and obviously you can't walk really far because you're on this bus with other people as well. But from there, it was good though. We got back to Bangkok, and then that's when we stayed in our hotel where we stayed at originally, and then that's when gradually we're all going back to either the UK. Some people were going back, or going on the journey like myself. We're going on to Australia, but majority of the people, we had such a great time, and it was really sad because you're 24 hours a day with these people for 4 weeks. You do get like, it's like a travel family, and it did get, for myself and a lot of people, it did get very emotional because you just get so attached to these people. You don't know when you're going to see them again. And I believe it was, I think it's about 9 people that from the Thailand group went on to Australia, which was absolutely amazing because then we kept seeing each other in Australia. But from there, like I said, a lot of people went back to the UK, so then quite a few people went first, and then from there it was, some people carried on another tour group in Thailand, or some people went to Indonesia, went, you know, also Vietnam, and everywhere some people went, and that was a great experience for them as well. But yeah, I think from there, and then that's when me and my friend Christian, who was from California, he was just, we just stayed together to the last day until because we got the same flight back over to Sydney. And like we said, we made so many good friends, had such a great time. Now we're ready to leave Thailand and try something new, and that's when we went to Australia. And I remember getting on the Emirates flight from Bangkok to Sydney. I think that was 8 hours, and that was it was so nice because I had the whole road to myself as well, which is even better for yourself because you can spread all your rubbish all along. But yeah, we went to Sydney, and then straight away, and we're getting to Sydney, doing obviously the passport control stuff. Have you got anything to declare? All that. Which was no, that was fine. And then I feel like after that, it was just I remember getting outside, looking outside, and it was raining, and I thought, what the hell? This does not look like what it should be like in the postcards. And I was like, oh God, what have we done? But then we're waiting for our minibus to take us to the Wake Up Hostel, which was fine. But overall, can I just say that the money I took, I think I saved up about £5,000 for the spending. So when that transferred into Australian, that was nearly 10,000, nearly. But that was just for the spending. But before that, I mean, all the flights that I've done on this trip, everything, including to South Africa, literally. So you got the flight from UK to Dubai, connecting Dubai to Bangkok, Bangkok to Sydney, Sydney, then back to Dubai, and then back to Heathrow was all £1,000. So that's not bad considering. And I think including that, yes it was, sorry, and that was the South Africa flights as well. So I did like, oh no, that wasn't, I'm getting confused now, what am I like is me. That might have been, I think, another 1,000, oh that was another 1,000, sorry. So basically then, for the coming back, as if because I went to a wedding halfway through, so I come back to the UK to go to a wedding in Spain, and then my flights from the UK to, it was Abu Dhabi to Sydney, and then Sydney to, I think it was to Doha, and then Doha to Johannesburg, and then Johannesburg to Port Elizabeth to Johannesburg, and Johannesburg back to Doha, back to Heathrow. That was another £1,000. So the flights cost £2,000 for all them flights, and then which isn't bad considering. I mean, I've seen a lot more pricier, and you know what? The airlines are really good. Qantas, Emirates, and Etihad was okay, and Qatar was amazing. They're really good airlines. But from Sydney, when we got to our Wake Up Hostel, that's when we saw some of our other friends from Thailand, and we thought, okay, now this is real. And we did our first week where we literally, the next day we had our 2 tour guides came, and one was really lovely, Danny, and she was just absolutely, we just bonded and got together straight away. It felt like I've known her for years, sort of thing. You know, I love when that sort of thing happens. And we just got on so well, and I remember it was like the first day she took us round to show us around Sydney, and I was just so excited because it was actually always been a dream for me to go to Australia and to actually be there and to keep pinching myself. And I would say it's definitely worth it because they set up the your SIM cards for you, because obviously you do not want to be on your UK roaming data, otherwise you've got a big problem. So I went with Vodafone over in Australia, and I think the other one was Telstra, and there was another one, I can't remember what it's called now, but Vodafone wasn't too bad, and it was good because it's like a pay-as-you-go, so you just pay every time you want more data, or data as they would say. But I felt like that was really good, and I think with that sort of thing, yeah, it was worth it because they helped you set up everything, and they said, you know, right. But then we were going around from we had like the offices was in Sydney. We went from there, the Ultimate Oz it was called, and we went from there, walked down for some lunch down near Darling Harbour, which was absolutely lovely, really good. I 100% was lovely, and we did our massive walk, which obviously was worth it. Went through the city everywhere, had our lunch, and that's when we're getting to know our next group of people, and that was another group of Australia group, sorry, and that was just lovely because then you're meeting more people again, and that was a big, I think that was only 15 of us in this one. And obviously quite a few of us knew each other from Thailand anyway, but you know, we made more friends. And then from there we had like different things. I can't remember what nights, but some nights you had like you get a free drink at every club. We had a bar crawl, that was really good. Everything like that was just amazing. And being around and in Sydney, Sydney was my favourite, one of my favourite anyway. And I feel like Danny looked after us, she had fun, everything was just perfect. And yeah, I think from there, I do miss Sydney because Sydney was just great. And we're going up to Hyde Park as well, around there, and we're walking up through the Botanical Gardens, from Botanical Gardens all the way up to the Opera House. And I remember literally pinching myself thinking, this is the moment, it's coming, I can see it. And we just had loads of pictures there. I had the best time. And then yeah, and then we just gradually walked back to the hostel, which Wake Up Hostel was nice. It was actually okay, quite clean. And then from there, I think it's not the next day, I can't remember, it was on the day after maybe. And we went to this, like, where we're going to camp out sort of thing. And that was an experience in itself, but it was good. We got to meet Josie, it was, the kangaroo. She was lovely. And then we got to, literally, it was just like partying. And then we got to see some nice other parts in Australia, of course, on the way. And we stayed there for only like 2 nights. Did that, which was fine. And then from there, it was just, yeah, we got back to Sydney. And it was more other things we did at Sydney. I can't remember what else was good. It just feels like I had so much fun. I can't remember, there's so much. But I obviously do remember after the whole Australia thing, it was just, yeah, it was just amazing. And then to go from there, then they said, right, you need to start making your plans, what you want to do and where you want to go. And my plan was to always just to do my first bit because I was only there overall for, I think it was 2 months, because I was going back, like I said, to a wedding in Spain. So in my mind I thought, I don't need a job, I can just travel my bit that I want to do. So I decided I'd do the East Coast. It took a while to decide what I wanted to do, because you feel like you want to travel with the people you have met. Like some people want to do the same thing, and basically we did, but we just did it in our own different ways. But I felt like it was the best way because I before was never a confident person, but for me to go into a room and say hello to everybody, and that's what I did straight away, and that's when I felt like, my God, my confidence is getting much better with people, everything. And I remember people saying, hello, what's your name? And then that's how you get talking. And I met so many people on the way on the East Coast, it was absolutely amazing. But just before the East Coast I did surf camp, which was actually good fun. But I didn't manage to do all the days because I actually like broke something in my leg. I'm sure I did. It was so painful that I couldn't do the full days. But you know, these things happen, I say. But I managed to stand up on the surfboard, so I'm happy about that. I did that, so that's fine. But after that, I think when doing the actual East Coast, I had one of the best times. We went from Sydney, I got the Greyhound bus. Now the Greyhound bus, it was a good way to travel up there. They're always on time. They've always got, you know, they're quite air conditioned, everything about it's really nice. They do have Wi-Fi on board, but it never worked for me. But it might for you. And they had USB ports to charge your phones, which is brilliant. But the other bus, I think it was called Premier Bus, which apparently didn't have no charging sockets or Wi-Fi or anything like that. It was just very basic. But people did say it was okay. So, sorry, my battery went. so yeah, like I said, the Greyhound was the best way to travel up there, or the Premier is another way. And like people did get car shares and did that, which I think is another good thing to do, which is what I did on the West Coast. But with the East Coast, the Greyhound was so on time, it had good slots and good times that the bus was going, and it'd tell you how long they're going to be, and you just literally just went on the internet, book when you want to go on, select, done, and then you literally the next day you could be going on the Greyhound to your next destination. They went from Sydney to Byron Bay, Now Byron Bay was absolutely amazing. I did love Byron Bay. It was such a hippie surf dude vibe about the whole thing. It was just so great, and I'd advise that for anybody to go there, because I can't remember where I stayed. I don't know, it was cool, but it was nice. Our hostel where I stayed there, and yeah, and then I think with the whole majority of it, it was just such great fun. And I remember that's when I met who I used to work with at Boots, her name's Olivia. I worked with her back in the airport, and we both handed the notice in on the same day at the time and said that we're going to go to Australia. And they're like, what? So you're going to Australia? So it's like, yeah, my God. And then I thought, this is like the best thing. And I remember messaging her, or she messaged me, should I say, and she said, are you in Byron Bay? And I said, well, yeah, where are you? Aren't you in Brisbane? And she said, no, I'm in Byron Bay. And then it was just that last night, was literally my last night. So I thought, right, okay. So me and her met up, which was just like, yes. And then we got a good catch up together, because she's so funny and lovely. But from there, yeah, it was just brilliant. And from there, after that, the next day I went from Byron Bay to Brisbane, I think it was. Yes, Brisbane. And then Brisbane, it was okay. I didn't think anything 100% special about it. It was okay. That's all I would say about it. But, you know, we all have different reviews of everything. But yeah, I went from Brisbane, then I think it was to Surfers Paradise, and then yeah, it was Surfers Paradise was like, it's the Australian party central. Honestly, it's like the best ever. And I won with my friend Christian. We won beer pong and everything like that, so it's such a great time. And that sort of thing, you know, it was just great. So we did. But then from Surfers Paradise, did all that. In Brisbane, like I said, did everything. I might have got that the wrong way around, I can't remember. But anyway, and yeah, it was just so brilliant. And I remember going to, I can't remember what order it is, and I've just got totally mixed up. But I also went to Noosa. We went to Fraser Island, the Pippies tour it was. That was brilliant. Got to drive the Jeep around Fraser Island. That sort of thing was amazing. I just had the best time, and doing that I did a skydive on Mission Beach. Also did Whitsundays, which was just before Whitsundays, which was absolutely lovely. The Whitehaven Beach, everything like that. I went on a boat called Spank Me, which actually it's not rude by the way, it literally just is called that, and I had the best time. And I think with that sort of thing, it all went just so well. And we got to Cairns, it was like our last destination of it all. And I remember thinking, right, after Cairns, what do I do? Because I've still got, I can't remember how it was, a certain amount of time till I was going back to the UK for the wedding in Spain. And I thought, right, where do I go? So I went from Cairns, flew down from Cairns to Melbourne, met my friend down there, went to Melbourne, which I loved Melbourne. Melbourne was lovely. I loved it personally, but also I do love Sydney, so it's like a mix between, I don't know which one I prefer, but Melbourne was just amazing. And I just think, yeah, it was good. And I got my flight from Melbourne to Sydney. I remember that. I think I spent a few more days in Sydney, and then catch my flight over to the UK. But that was quite sad, because obviously I knew I was coming back though, which was the best thing about it. But I've been quite sad about it. Flying from there to Dubai and getting on the same plane again to then get to the UK, and then just getting home, and everything went well. I had the wedding in Spain. It was absolutely lovely. I had a great time. And after that I flew back, and then flew to Abu Dhabi, and then Abu Dhabi to Sydney again. And then this was the point where I thought, right, I need to get a job now. So I literally did, my tour guide Danny, she moved from what she was doing, because if you do, well, I don't know if it still applies, I've heard different things, but originally because you have to get obviously your visa for Australia, which I think was the 471. I might be wrong. I should really do my research a bit more, but yeah, I think get your visa. So it's a working holiday visa, so you can do work out there and do holidaying really. So do that. You've got to make sure you've got. If you just got the 3-month tourist visa, you won't be able to work. If you do get caught working, there's a lot of not good things about it. So I wouldn't advise that. But overall, it's the sort of thing that you just need to be careful of. But make sure you've got the right visa. And then if you do 88 days of farm work, you're entitled to a second year visa in Australia. Now obviously I did this anyway, just to make sure, because I thought I want to, just in case I change my mind, I go back to UK and go, actually I want to go back to Australia, I can do that. So that's why I did that, just in case. But with that sort of thing, it was just the best thing to do. And I did so many different farm works. I did potato harvesting, orange picking, apple thinning, everything. I've done literally everything. The only thing that's made me thought about it more is how actual food is made, as in vegetables, how much effort goes into it. When you just see it in the supermarket on the shelf, you actually know what the story's gone behind it, which is a lot. But I stayed in South Australia and did some different jobs there, like I said, and not the best place. It was in the middle of nowhere, this place. There's quite a few of us there. It wasn't the best place to be. It was just in the middle of nowhere, but we just did it to get our farm days and basically piss off. But yeah, it's just that sort of thing where you're like, oh, do I need to be here? But it was just because of the location, where it was, and where I went from. I flew from Sydney to Adelaide, and then Adelaide got a bus up there for 2 hours to Barmera and or Barmera, I can't remember what it's called, one of them two. But we stayed there, and then that's where I just stayed there for, I think it's maybe more than 2 months. And in the end, me and my other travel mate who I met out there, we decided to stay together. We went to Tasmania, and that's where, like, again, you're meeting all these new people, and we met the best group there, and that was like we called it our Tassie family. And Tasmania wasn't in my place to go and see, but it was really amazing. And we met, like I said, the best people, and we spent Christmas there. So we did all our work there, met all these people, did Christmas there, and it was just amazing. But any hostels, if you are in Australia and you want to know more, please comment below or send me direct messages, because I will happily ask, or answer you, should I say, because I want to give my experience to you, that where the best places to stay, how far away, and everything. And yeah, really. But the hostel in Tasmania was really nice. It took up to 170 people though, so you've got to make sure you book before it actually all kicks off and you start getting the people there, because it's just mental. But yeah, so then me and my travel mate travelled to Tasmania as well, which was really lovely. Saw some beautiful sights, and me and my travel mate bought a car over there. We were actually going to have a haircut together. Went down the road, looked in, and there was this car for sale, and we bought it. But it was a really good car. And then we went travelling around Tasmania, and then it was just near Christmas. Spent Christmas there, and we were ready for New Year. And obviously, the best thing to do is go to Sydney for New Year. And I remember thinking, right, I want to be in Sydney though for New Year. And I thought, right, okay, and that's what we did. And I had a lovely time. And we did get a good view as well, actually, surprisingly. And it was just such a great, everything about it was just amazing. And it was the first time seeing it. It was like, wow, I'm so happy with this. And yeah, that was just amazing. And from there, that's when we carried on travelling. We had a few problems with our car on the way, but we sorted it out. And we did the West Coast, which was an eye-opener, which I think I was more worried because I had the responsibility of making sure the car was okay, so I had more responsibilities, but on the way I managed to do it, so I was very happy with the whole situation. But yeah, I think we saw some lovely places. I remember some of the beaches. It was just unbelievable. We camped out so many times, and sometimes you arrive at your destination and you're just literally like, oh god, I can't bother to set a tent up. No, it's to sleep in the car, so we did. But yeah, it was just, a lot of people didn't believe us, but we went the wrong time of year to go up to Darwin area because it was the wet season, and that's when it was just on the way quite tricky. We had floods, they kept stopping us to go. I thought, what would we do? And we just stuck around and managed. The floods started to go away, and then it would come back again. But we managed to get through it, and there's so many, like I said, lovely places where we went, and I just couldn't believe the whole place. It's just amazing. But we managed to get to Darwin. Darwin was okay, nothing special I didn't think personally. I might be wrong, but to me I didn't find it very interesting. But then from Darwin, that's when I decided, me and my friend I used to work with at Boots, she wanted to go to Asia, and at the right time we went to Bali together, and that was the best time. But we were still wet seasons, it wasn't the greatest of weather, but we managed to get through it. We had such a laugh on the way, did all the Gili Tea Islands, everything like that. But yeah, it was just amazing. And then when I come back from Bali, flew back down to Melbourne, and then just Melbourne in itself was great. I love Melbourne every time, and I saw my friend down there, and yeah, and then I just remember it just went so quickly, the whole thing, really. When I think about it, it was 14 months overall I was gone. Just like I said, I had the best time, but it was just so crazy. But I don't know, it was just absolutely mental. But yeah, I think with the sort of thing, it all happened. I had such a great year. 2016 was the best year ever. And would I do it again? Yes, it was just amazing. But yeah, I flew, and literally I could say now I did all the outskirts of Australia, did Thailand and Bali, so I was very happy with that. And then my last destination was South Africa, which obviously, that was really nice. Now by the way, with Bali it's Indonesian rupiah, the money is, and obviously with Thai it's baht, and Australia is Australian dollars, and South Africa is rand. So just to clarify with them. And then yeah, going to South Africa, which I really high hopes for, but it was okay. But they really sold it to me like I was dealing with really big and good animals. It turned out it was more birds and little like meerkats and the smaller animals, where I wanted to be more bigger animals and be, because obviously I've had zoo experience, so to have that would have been even better. But unfortunately these things happen, don't they? So yeah, I was a bit gutted about that, but like we said, these things happen. But yeah, we got there, and that was another place in the middle of nowhere, really. Jeffreys Bay was nice, wasn't too bad. Port Elizabeth is where we flew to, or where I flew to, should I say, and then went over to this other place near Jeffreys Bay. But then you'd need a car out there because it's so crazy trying to get around. But it was a good experience, but I probably would have missed it out. It wasn't a big problem, So for me, my favourite was Australia. Thailand was good. It was a great experience. But out of all of them, I'd go back to Bali, but in a better season. I'd do that for sure. And Australia, I'd do again, 100% at the best time. But next time, hopefully, I would show my mum and dad which want to go. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, like I said, the next thing for me is the USA. That's what I want to do. But yeah, like, never say never, and I probably will go back to Australia at some point, even if it's just a tourist visa, just to see. But we'll see what happens. But hope this has been like a nice experience for you to listen to, and hopefully it's helped you in some ways. But please feel free to ask me any questions on Twitter or anything. So please do, and I'll be happy enough to answer them if I can. Okay, so give this a massive thumbs up, this video, and subscribe please. Thank you. Hope you have a lovely day. Bye.